I was born 87 years ago. But for all these years,
to the international.
I've never been the ruler of my own dreams. This is the 27th of last seed, the year of Akatosh 433. These are the closing days of the Third Era and the final hours of my life. I have seen the gates of oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see. This is only the beginning. Worse is yet to come. Looks clear.
A trap! The time of cleansing draws nigh.
Who now will save us from the coming darkness? Here you must find your own path.
Remember the Emperor!
Find him. And close shut the jaws of oblivion.
System. To achieve this, however, we must first reconstruct the IMF and World Bank with, or reconnect the IMF and the World Bank with their founding missions. The IMF and World Bank have enduring value, but mission creep has knocked these institutions off course. We must enact key reforms.
Crazy Noodles. What's up, Crazy Noodles?
President in this administration. So Tim, why don't you kick us off today?
Yes, many of the news organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep on false narratives, such as the Very Fine People hoax, the Covington smear, and now what's being called the Maryland Man hoax, where an MS-13 gang member adjudicated by two different judges, I believe.
Fantastic first question ever from Tim Pool. Let's go.
Cover the president in this administration. So Tim, why don't you kick us off today?
Yes, many of the news organizations that are represented in this room have marched in lockstep.
Dude, the hilarious thing is everybody is acting like the market's crashing and this is a horrible, horrible thing. And like Bitcoin's still over 90 grand. Like Palantir's trading at almost 100 a share. Like what, the market's off like 10%. $1,000. Dude, the hilarious thing is
Come witness Trump derangement syndrome in its purest form. From Chris Van Hollen to Cory Booker. You may even see Jon Ossoff. So what are you waiting for, Senate Democrats? Join your colleagues and step into the rhythm of rescue today. Home to breathtaking sunsets, world-class surf breaks, and gangbanger Kilmer Abrego Garcia.
wow.
El Salvador is the destination for Democrats seeking the thrill of bringing violent criminal illegal aliens back to America. Come witness Trump derangement syndrome.
Thing that hasn't come down, but it hasn't gone up much.
Nice, Crazy. How is it so far?
Lower the rate. We think that it's a perfect time to lower the rate, and would like to see our chairman be early or on time, as opposed to late. Late's not good.
Mr. President, you said,
I don't want to talk about that because I have no intention of firing him.
Mr. President,
The only thing that hasn't come down, but it hasn't gone up much, are interest rates, and we think the Fed should lower the rate. The only thing that hasn't come down, but it hasn't gone up much, are interest.
Dude, most humans couldn't even take the biggest. Can't even take a dog, various types of dogs. I don't have much. I could maybe take on a dude. I could. I don't even think I could. I enjoy it. The graphics are amazing. What's your Crazy Noodles? What are you rocking for a setup? What graphics card? What CPU and graphics card do you have? I'm curious, like if I'd be able to play it. Dude, most humans couldn't even take the biggest. Can't even take a dog, like a.
Have short.
Nice, I got the assist on that at least. Woo. Getting rid of USAID, pull away from colleges that don't respect guidelines. Civil rights acts is a great way to kneecap the American. Respect guidelines. ADI, pull away from colleges that don't respect guidelines. Civil rights acts is a great way to kneecap the American Maoists. We'll see if they survive 4 years. Ah, great point, Num. Great point. Yeah. No, I think they do. I think they'll survive 4 years, Num. They'll come back with a vengeance too if we don't keep the pressure on them. I play on Xbox. It's free on Game Pass. Oh, okay. Wow, so if it looks good on Xbox, then I know it'll look good on my PC. ADI, pull away from colleges that don't respect guidelines. Civil rights acts is a great way to kneecap the American Maoists. We'll see if they survive 4 years. Ah, great point, Num. Great point. Yeah. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That should be 7.
To ensure the Bretton Woods institutions are serving their stakeholders, not the other way around. Bringing balance back to global finance will require clear-eyed leadership from the IMF and World Bank. This morning, I will explain how they can provide that leadership to build safer, stronger, and more prosperous economies all around the world. I wish to invite my international counterparts to join us in working toward these goals. On this point, I wish to be clear. America first does not mean America alone.
Wow. Man, I got clips for days. I think you're going to start to see a lot more people say, like, this sucks so bad, I hate my student loans again. Like, for the past, like, 5 years, like, culturally speaking, nobody's really complained about student loans because you haven't had to pay anything. But, like, I think, and you've still you've had people, like, recognizing college is not worth it financially. So as this ramps up, you're going to see even more people go anti-college. Yup, I'm running a Dark Elf spell sword. That's awesome. That's 8.
Dude, do not say, oh my god, why are you serious, Blue? What are you doing, bro?
Bro, I got an op.
Oh my god. They're so bad at this game. I can hear what the fuck. Dude, talking about
They're getting so mad at me for simply saving an op.
talking about
To the contrary, it is a call for deeper collaboration and mutual respect among trade partners. Far from stepping back, America First seeks to expand U.S. leadership in international institutions like the IMF and the World Bank. By embracing a stronger leadership role, America First seeks to restore fairness to the international economic system. Nowhere is the imbalance I mentioned earlier more obvious than in the world of trade. That's why the United States is taking action now to rebalance global commerce. For decades,
Better than me. They came out looking good. If I had that look, I would have been president 20 years ago. I wouldn't have had to wait so long. You know, you look great, fellas, but we have many of them. Hello, everybody. So we have a very special group of wounded veterans who are amazing. I've actually visited many of them in the hospital, and they came out better than me. They came out looking good. If I had that look, I would have been president 20 years ago. I wouldn't have had to wait so long. You know, you look great, fellas, but we have many of them. I didn't even realize it at the time, but I visited many of you in the hospital. They did an incredible job. The doctors are absolutely unbelievable, the job they do. So we were having a little meeting, and at the same time, we're signing some very important legislation, what will become legislation, and right now it's
I agree, American Patriot. Oh, American Patriot, the maximum is 50,000. The new maximum is 50,000, American Patriot. You're number 5. Dang, American Patriot, you're number 5. Yeah, I changed it, American Patriot, to 50,000, and then I also made the delay longer, so now it's a 26-minute delay. So after a heist, it's a 26-minute delay now, so it's a longer delay, and it's 50,000 max. But, nope, I agree, American Patriot. Crimea is Ukrainian.
an executive order, and having to do mostly with education. We have our Secretary of Education, Linda McMahon, who's been so incredible over the last few weeks. I've been watching her on television. I'd like to tell her she could do better, but she can't. She can't do any better. So I want to thank you, Linda. Fantastic. And we also have Commerce, and we have Labor with us today, and you have been, thank you very much. And Howard, thank you very much. And we'll take some questions after we're finished. Maybe I'll ask Will to step forward, and you can go through some of these. Also, Lindsay, you work with Will, two very talented lawyers, as you all know by now.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And we'll go through them. And Linda, why don't you come over here? In fact, why don't the three of you come over here?
We also have a special guest with us today, sir.
Oh, that's right. Annette Albright. Where is Annette? Annette Albright. Charlotte Mecklenburg, school teacher. Very special one. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a great honor to have you. You got all sorts of awards for talent. That's good. Thank you very much for being with us. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, please.
Sir, the first executive order we have prepared for your attention, there are currently laws on the books requiring certain disclosures of universities when they accept large foreign gifts. We believe that certain universities, including, for example, Harvard, have routinely violated this law, and this law has not been effectively enforced. So this executive order charges your departments and agencies with enforcing the laws on the books with respect to foreign gifts to American universities.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We'll put it right here.
Next for you, sir, university accreditation is currently a process controlled by a number of third-party organizations. That's by statute, by law. Many of those third-party accreditors have relied on sort of woke ideology to accredit universities instead of accrediting based on merit and performance. This executive order affects a number of changes to the university accreditation process, also applies to law schools and other sort of graduate programs. But the basic idea is to force accreditation to be focused on the merit and the actual results that these universities are providing.
Sorry, I just missed the last couple of minutes here because I had a work issue to deal with. Sorry about that, guys. Numb is in the house. Riding Fence is in the house. What's up, guys? Stop signing EOs. Rip Confucius Institute. Is that what's going on here?
Talent. That's good. Thank you very much for being with us. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, please.
Sir, the first executive order we have prepared for your attention, there are currently laws on the...
By the way, whoever this guy is, like the secretary guy that presents these EOs and explains these EOs, this guy's amazing. This guy's fantastic. I love this guy.
Books requiring certain disclosures of universities when they accept large foreign gifts. We believe that certain universities, including, for example, Harvard, have routinely violated this law, and this law has not been effectively enforced. So this executive order charges your departments and agencies with enforcing the laws on the books with respect to foreign gifts to American universities.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We'll put it right here.
Next for you, sir, university accreditation is currently a process controlled by a number of...
Good point, American Patriot. Good point. Yeah, ideally, we wouldn't have EOs like this all the time, but unfortunately, over the history of America, we've gotten into a situation where the presidency is this powerful.
Third-party organizations, that's by statute, by law. Many of those third-party accreditors have relied on sort of woke ideology to accredit universities instead of accrediting based on merit and performance. This executive order affects a number of changes to the university accreditation process, also applies to law schools and other...
Yeah, like these ones they're doing right now is literally just an order from the president to the government to say, hey, enforce these statutes, so enforce these laws.
Other sort of graduate programs. But the basic idea is to force accreditation to be focused on the merit and the actual results that these universities are providing, as opposed to how woke these universities have gotten. So we're setting up new accreditation pathways. We're charging the Department of Education to really look holistically at this accreditation mess and hopefully make it much better.
Will we look into the past people that they've taken? For instance, I hear all about certain great schools, and then we read where they're going to teach people basic math that we can all do very easily, but they can't do. They're, going to the top school, and they come out with a program of teaching basic math to somebody that got into a Harvard or a Princeton or a Yale. Is that part of this?
When universities are not performing appropriately, whether that's in admissions or whether that's in their actual instructional activities, that's certainly something that accreditors should be considering, that right now we believe they're not doing.
Riding Fence. I like how Trump is selling his own merchandise right there in the Oval Office. Yeah, that's not good. Not good at all. It's illegal for him to sell merchandise in the Oval Office, so anything sold in the government building should go to the government, not private party making a profit. I mean, I don't think he's selling these hats. They're just sitting there. But it's clear he's kind of advertising them.
A good enough job of, and I think Secretary McMahon could probably speak to that better than I could.
So they're allowing people into school that can't do math, and yet kids who've worked really hard and number one in their class in a high school someplace in New Jersey or in Mississippi, they can't get into the best schools. What is that all about?
Yeah, and I think that gets to your policy, sir, of meritocracy, that we should be looking at those who have real merit to get in, and we have to look harder at those universities that aren't enforcing that.
Okay, thank you. And this pretty much does it, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Donald Trump, man. Donald Trump. Noah, what's up?
Thank you.
Sir, during your first administration, you made promoting historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, a major priority. This executive order takes existing law on HBCUs and brings it into effect. We're going to be setting up a White House initiative on HBCUs. The basic idea here is making sure that every aspect of your administration is working to ensure that HBCUs are able to do their job as effectively and as efficiently as possible.
Okay.
This next executive order relates to artificial intelligence education, sir. You've obviously done a lot in the artificial intelligence space already. The basic idea of this executive order is to ensure that we properly train the workforce of the future by ensuring that school children, young Americans are adequately trained in AI tools so that they can be competitive in the economy years from now into the future as AI becomes a bigger and bigger deal.
That's a big deal because AI is where it seems to be at. We have literally trillions of dollars being invested in AI. And somebody today, a very smart person, said that AI is the way to the future. I don't know if that's right or not, but certainly very smart people are investing in it heavily. Good.
Based. Yeah, these are all good. I support all these so far.
Workforce development. This executive order is going to charge numerous departments and agencies within the government to reshape the way that we do workforce development. One example from the executive order, for instance, we're looking to get the total number of apprenticeships, new apprenticeships, up to 1 million in the country to ensure that in critical jobs areas, in areas where we currently don't have enough trained workers, that we're recreating that pipeline to ensure that, particularly as we onshore industrial jobs and new industries, that those industries have the workforce they need to be competitive globally.
Right. Very important.
And this is the EO that we're all here working.
India's been at war with Pakistan. American Patriot. India's been at war with Pakistan for a long time. White House considers slashing its steep tariffs on China. Levies could be cut by more than half in some cases. When was this posted? Earlier in the day. Huge stock swings are the new normal for frazzled investors. Markets think they hold all the cards over Trump. The plunge in stocks, bonds, and the dollar matter to Trump, but there's no assurance that he will be ruled by them. Advanced underscoring.
Together.
And in a way, this is like a training center, right, for what we're trying to do, which is John.
No, Noah.
Great salaries. These are great salaries too.
Right, it's exactly, so all those factories.
That's not
that
good,
you
American
bring in
Patriot.
Because of your trade policy.
If that's
we're
true,
gonna
that's
train
not good.
People in trade craft, bring back trade craft to America so that people can work in these factories with great paying jobs, and we're going to train them, and we're going to remake the American dream for all these people. We're working together.
That's right.
Right, Lori?
Absolutely. This plays right into America at Work Tour, which I have kicked off. We will work with our state partners and work with our businesses to see exactly who they need in that workforce, and we will skill and upskill these apprentices so they can get right to work and get in the field and build back this economy for exactly living the American dream.
Good, Lori.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. President.
Next, sir, we have an executive order on school discipline policies. under, I believe it was the Biden administration, first Obama and then Biden, the Department of Justice issued guidance that made it almost impossible for schools to enforce adequate disciplinary policies. This created issues in the classroom for teachers and students alike. Basically, they focused on CRT and sort of diversity ideology instead of actually just enforcing the rules in classrooms to ensure a safe learning environment. This executive order revokes that prior guidance and puts us back in a place where hopefully the Department of Education can focus on education and teachers can focus on teaching in a safe environment.
And this was important for you, Linda, as I understand it, huh?
Yeah, absolutely, because it gives teachers the authority now to have discipline in their classroom and discipline the person who is being disruptive.
Great.
We took that away.
Okay. Nice. Cool. Here, Linda, you should hold that.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order on disparate impact theory. This is a theory that underlies a lot of the modern DEI and CRT-driven diversity culture. The basic idea here is instructing your departments and agencies to no longer rely on disparate impact theory as they're regulating, as they're issuing guidance, as they're making rules. We want to focus on results. We want to focus on actual fairness. We want to.
Wow. So they're literally getting rid of CRT. They're getting rid of disparate impact theory. Wow. That's fantastic.
Focus on merit, not things like disparate impact theory and the whole sort of diversity, equity, and inclusion cult.
It's getting out of that. Huh?
Yes, sir.
After being in that.
The diversity, equity, and inclusion cult. No more funding. Love it. Cult. Isn't this fantastic? No, yeah, it's pretty dang good.
Jungle for a long time. Okay. Thank you. Very good job.
Thank you, sir.
Very much.
Appreciate it.
Very much. Would you like to introduce again Annette, and perhaps Annette wants to say something having to do with that?
I voted for that too. No, that's exactly what I voted for.
Yes, please come over.
That's literally exactly what I voted for. Love to see that my vote did something. Amen.
Would you like to have some
Amen.
comments to make? I know you're a former Charlotte Mecklenburg school teacher. I'm a North Carolina girl.
No, he doesn't. No, Noah, you realize that Trump is not regulating what Harvard teaches. The federal government's not regulating what Harvard teaches. You realize that, right, Noah? You realize that's not what's happening here. Please tell me you understand that. Please tell me you understand that this is an issue of federal funding. Like, are you purposely lying or what?
Also,
Yes, New Bern.
Yes,
Yes.
New Bern.
Yes.
Or are you that uninformed?
Thank you so
Are you
much
truly
for
that
having me.
ignorant
Thank
about
you
it?
so much. I'm so honored to be here. This has been an 8-year journey for me to raise awareness to the violence that's in public schools and the critical need to address violence in public schools. Again, been doing it 8 years.
Yeah, you don't understand it then, Noah. You don't understand it then, Noah. It has to do with federal funding.
Because most administrations like to keep the violence hidden. We have 3 students that should be here with us today. We have Austin McCaff, I'm sorry if I say his name wrong, Serenity Baker, and
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I had no idea. So the Democrats actually think that Trump is trying to have the federal government go and order around like colleges what they can and cannot do. Like, you guys Democrats don't understand that this actually has to do with federal funding. The Democrats actually think the federal government is going around and ordering universities what they can and cannot. You actually think that that could be happening under the First Amendment? Wow. What is wrong with Democrats these days?
and Nizir Taylor from Charlotte, North Carolina, who was shot in the back as he was getting off of a school bus because they thought he was a part of a big brawl that happened inside a public high school. So this is very important and critical legislation that we have to keep our educators safe, we have to keep our students safe, and public schools have to be safe environments. So I think, like I said, I've done this journey alone, I've been on it, but I have a whole team behind me now. I spoke at the RNC, and I told millions that Donald Trump and his administration was going to make schools great again, and I feel that we're on the right path, and I'm just honored to be here.
Thank you. this to the...
Yeah, exactly, Num. Exactly, Num. It's like the federal government's not telling Harvard what to teach and not teach. Noah, that's a lie. Stop pushing lies.
Our great vets that are with us, and is it okay if I give her one? What do you think?
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
What an honor.
Great job. Could I ask Sarah to speak, Gerardo?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about these great gentlemen.
These heroes, Mr. President, are extraordinary. This is my husband, Michael, and so many of our dear, dear friends who are here today.
Right.
Many of them have met you, sir, in your first administration in the hospital, many times at Walter Reed.
Right.
And they've had long recoveries. Tomorrow, for my husband, marks 15 years since he was wounded in Afghanistan.
Wow.
And on that day, about 6 years ago, he had his 120th surgery post-Afghanistan.
wow.
And you came to see him at Walter Reed, and
did.
so many others. And we saw great reform in the VA, access, same-day access to prosthetics, mental health care, and we know that that is back. We're going to, these gentlemen were saying, Alex here earlier was saying, in the last few years when he's gone to get a wheelchair, the VA has asked him, this gentleman, they've asked him to prove that he still has his injuries, as though maybe his limbs would grow back. And they unfortunately did not. Yes, and we've seen that many times. And so we're excited for you bringing back the VA accountability, Mission Act, community care, that were the hallmark of your first term. And we're so excited, sir, to be here. We're honored to be here. And thank you for all you do for our nation's heroes.
Thank you. Who's that picture on there?
That is Joe Biden, and it says, "Let's go, Brandon."
I'm saying, what was that picture? That's great.
I told him he wasn't allowed to ask you to sign it.
That's very good. Well, thank you all very much. Would you like to say anything, fellas? There's a big chance you have a lot of good people watching that believe in you. They happen to be the media, but they believe very much in you, like I do. Anybody?
Mr. President, we're very happy with the energy that this administration is bringing, and it's an administration that does what it promises, and so we're behind you. We believe in you, and I think we all love you. We got to speak for everyone.
Thank you very much, and I'm going to get you a better hat. Say, I have better hats. That's a good one. That was the original.
It was.
That means he was there.
I've been wearing it before it was cool.
That's right. That's an early one. We'll save that one, though, right?
Yes, Mr. President.
Thank you. Anybody, please?
I'd like to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say thank you for loving America, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Very nice. Thank you very much. True. Thank you.
Sir, Ben just spoke, saved Michael Broder's life. And of course, he goes immediately to say thank you, as he was the one that saved Michael Berardo, put him in the helicopter, and got him off the combat zone.
Wow.
So the selflessness of these men is unspeakable.
That's great. So,
Yeah, he's alive because of that man right here.
Oh. American Patriot, why are you such a naysayer about, like, why is she speaking for them? Everybody's giving a chance to speak. Why are you so negative, man?
Very good. And these are amazing people, great heroes, so that's really great. Anybody else? Yes.
I'd like to say it was an honor to serve. You are worth it. This country's worth it. And it's because of what Christ paid for.
Thank you. We have a spirit that people haven't seen in many years, at least 5. They haven't seen. I think even then, because we've been through so much for the last 4 years together, it was so bad. It was so bad what they've done to the borders, what they've done all over the place, and it's really an honor to be with you, all of you. Incredible. And I'm going to give you these coins that I think you're going to really like them. I think they're the best. These are the best coins. And you have your choice. This is gunmetal. I don't know, soldiers like the black, but I think you like this one. It's okay. A lot of soldiers like the black. Here you go. What do you like?
I'll go to black, Mr. President. Yeah.
See, I told you. I have that. These are choices.
I'll take a black one, sir.
Okay, look at this. Oh, that rarely happens. You're different, huh?
I'll take a black one, sir.
They call the military anyway.
See, Trump likes the gold one. Trump likes the gold one.
No, but is that I always say the soldiers, they do like it's gunmetal. What do we like here?
That's what I heard, that it was gunmetal.
gold is.
I'm giving him 2.
I'm giving him 2.
We have 3 girls.
One
They're
for
going to
this
fight.
one right here. We'll get another one too. Okay.
See, he got 2 for picking gold. How, like, dude, if you gotta pick gold. You know, Trump.
This is actually fun.
I'll take the gold, Mr.
Okay. I thought you were going to take that gold one. Okay.
Gold one, sir.
Okay. You got it.
I had an opportunity to sail across the Gulf of America 2 days after you named it right.
Oh, wow. Isn't that great? It's been an honor. And now people say it routinely.
Yep.
They don't even think about the other. They say it routinely. That's been a great honor.
They say it routinely. They
Okay.
say it routinely.
Take a gold one.
Okay.
Oh, so funny. Trump is
Almost
hysterical,
even.
man.
I think gold is an edge.
Oh, I would love a gold one,
You
sir.
got it?
Thank you so much. Thank
You
you.
go. It picked up at the end, right? So you all okay? That's good. So I want to thank you very much, and especially that's a great story. Yeah. So what do you think of a guy like that? Pretty good.
Oh, we actually, him and him, we all served together.
Wow.
And Jared over there.
So you
And
guys,
oh, I forgot.
so you guys got hit, huh? Pretty good. You got hit.
Pretty good.
Amazing,
We're in a pretty
amazing.
tough area in Kandahar, in the Arghandab River Valley,
Right,
right
it's
outside
tough.
Kandahar.
Their unit had a more than 50% Purple Heart rate, sir,
Wow.
in 2010.
You deserve it. You deserve that and more. We appreciate it so much. Brave, really brave, brilliant people. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions of the guys here?
I want to say
President.
thank you to the veterans who are here.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for defending us. And then I wanted to ask you, Mr. President, because you said you want to bring the tariffs on China down soon. How soon do you want to bring the tariffs on Chinese goods
Well, that
down?
depends on them. We have a situation where
All right, guys, we got to go to Market Watch. Got to go to Market Watch. I forgot. Wall Street Journal doesn't like Wall Street Journal purposefully. Wall Street Journal purposefully does not show futures prices on its website and forces you to go to Market Watch to do so. Super duper annoying. Futures are up right now. Dang, futures in the grain. Futures in the grain.
we have a very, very great place. It's called the United States of America, and it's been ripped off for years and years. These people know it. We talked about it before you came in. We've been ripped off by every country in the world.
Yeah, literally, Noah, McCarthy's been proven correct by history. What are you talking about? McCarthy era never ended for real, as if that's a bad thing.
Practically, and friend and foe. And we're not doing that anymore. So what's happened is Howard, how many countries have we spoken to already?
90.
90. And they all want to make deals, and we're going to make deals.
He's been, also, yeah, Num is also, let's see. I'm asking ChatGPT now. I'm asking ChatGPT. Historians generally agree. There's no conclusive evidence that the party as an institution stole or orchestrated the theft of state secrets. Short version. Some Communist Party USA members spied for the USSR, but the Communist Party USA as an organization was never conclusively proven to have directly stolen the U.S. state secrets. I'm asking were there communist individuals that ever stole state secrets? Yes. Oh, here we go. Here we go, baby. Fire. Wow, ChatGPT actually gave me little Alger Hiss. Ever heard of Alger Hiss, Noah? Are you serious, Noah? Have you not heard of Alger Hiss? Julius and Ethel Rosenberg. Why are you saying Julius and Ethel Rosenberg before it came up on my thing, or? Julius and Ethel Rosenberg were American citizens and members of the Communist Party. Julius Rosenberg led a spy ring that passed U.S. nuclear weapons secrets to the Soviets during and after World War II. Both were convicted of espionage and executed in 1953. Highly controversial case. Many documents later supported Julius's guilt, though Ethel's involvement is still debated. Klaus Fuchs, German-born British physicist who worked on the Manhattan Project in the U.S., committed communist and Soviet agent, passed detailed information on atomic bomb designed to the USSR. Wow! Wait, so Klaus Fuchs sounds even worse than Julius and Ethel Rosenberg. Alger Hiss, high-ranking State Department official, accused of being a Soviet spy. Convicted of perjury but not espionage due to statute of limitations. Harry Dexter White, Assistant Secretary of the Treasury, major architect of the post-war Bretton Woods systems. Identified in the Venona decrypts as a Soviet asset. Denied espionage, died shortly after testifying to Congress in 1948. Morton Sobel. Died shortly after. Oh, yeah, I wonder how he died. Morton Sorbel, electrical engineer and associate of Julius Rosenberg, admitted that he passed military information to the Soviets. Convicted and served nearly 20 years in prison. So I was going to even say, though, a little bit different than that, though, Num. Like, okay, so wow, that's actually pretty wild that there are very easily identifiable, literally 5 actual communists during the McCarthy era that were actually stealing state nuclear secrets from the USA and give it to the Soviets. That's actually pretty wild, but I actually have another theory, too. My other theory about why he was right is like he was basically saying that like communism as an ideology is extremely, extremely dangerous and needs to be basically treated as if like you're supporting terrorism. Like it's like, you know, should be that's kind of like how or something along those lines, you know, like something that's not acceptable. Oh, absolutely. USSR during McCarthy era was a serious threat. Oh, absolutely.
But they're going to be fair deals. They're not going to be rip-off deals. And, you know, we were losing almost $5 billion a year. No country can do that. And now we have it down almost to even, maybe even better than even, because of the tariffs on cars and aluminum and steel. We have tariffs 25% on cars, aluminum, and steel. There's a rush to build new steel plants, a rush to build new aluminum plants.
Guess, what's up, Guess?
The biggest rush I've ever seen, that we've ever seen.
Yeah, it is. It is, Noah. Just like supporting terrorism is, Noah. You can support terrorism under the First Amendment. Now you can't engage in incitement. You can't provide material support to terrorism, but you're perfectly allowed to support terrorism, to support communism under the First Amendment. Absolutely.
To build car plants. We have like 11 of them or something, big ones, where you guys maybe work, maybe you won't want to work, you'll do something else instead of that. But if you like cars, you'd like to work at one of these plants, the biggest plants in the world. 3 of them have left Mexico before construction started, 1 of them during construction, and they're coming to this country. They're coming back. Don't forget, and we get along great with Mexico, but Mexico took 32% of our car building.
Wow, Guess. So, that's not good. That's not good.
It's amazing what's happened. Remember this number, anywhere from $3 to $5 billion a day. That's not $1 million, that's $1 billion a day. Nobody can even imagine it. And that's what we were losing. And, you know, hence we have $36 trillion in debt and everything else. And in the end, I think what's going to happen is we're going to have great deals. And by the way, if we don't have a deal with a company or a country, we're going to set the tariff. We just set the tariff. It's something that we think that will happen, I'd say, over the next couple of weeks. What do you say? I think so. Over the next 2-3 weeks, we'll be setting the number. And we're going to pick, could be for China too, could be for China. We're dealing with almost all of them. Too many to...
No, it's not wrong, Num. It's like, no, it's not, or Noah. Sorry. It's not wrong, Noah. Why should I, as a taxpayer, have to give money to schools, universities? The federal government shouldn't be paying any money for... I mean, actually, I take that back. Like, it's okay for the federal government to... I think the Constitution does allow the federal government to provide grants for, like, research and stuff like that. But that's at 100% the discretion of our elected representatives as taxpayers. And if Congress and the president decide, no, we're not going to give this school money or we're not going to fund DEI departments, that's 100% consistent with the Constitution and is a wonderful thing. That's actually, that's how a constitutional republic's supposed to work.
To fully deal with, but we're going to be fair to them. But we're dealing with a lot of countries right now, and could be with China, but maybe we'll make a special, a deal, and we'll see what it will be. Right now, it's 145%. That's very high. It got there because of the fentanyl. They're sending, massive amounts of fentanyl into our country and killing a lot of people, probably 200,000 plus a year, wiping them out. You probably all have friends who were killed. Somebody was killed in your family or your friends with fentanyl, and somehow it's made almost exclusively in China, and as you know, we essentially taxed them 10 and then another 10. We also taxed Mexico 25, and we taxed Canada 25, and that's the kind of money that's what's pouring into our country right now, and it's gotten us down from losing $3 to $5 billion a day to actually making money, but breaking even, let's say, but we're going to make a lot of money. And that money is going to be used to reduce taxes. We're going to get big tax breaks. We're going to, there was a time, I said it this morning, I think some of you were there, there was a time from 1870 to 1913, it was a long time ago, we were an all-tariff nation. Foreign nations paid taxes. They paid money to us in the form of tariffs. And that was when we were the wealthiest. We were the wealthiest proportionately that we ever were. And they formed committees in 1887 in particular, but they formed committees to determine what we should do with all the money. We had so much money.
Here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing about tariffs. What you just heard Trump say there is that other countries were paying us tariffs. And there's two, and the media and the Democrats freak out about that. They say, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Actually, Americans pay. That's what the Democrats say, okay? But there's actually two different ways this works. Think about it this way. On one hand, you have, this is one way it works. This is the way the Democrats say it works. You have an American sitting in America. They go on the internet, they order a product from China. And when they go to their online checkout, they have to pay an extra 10% due to Trump's tariffs. And then they pay it, they click it, they edit, the product gets shipped to them. Okay? There's a second way that it works, though, and it does not involve two different parties. It involves one person from China, from Europe, from wherever it might be, bringing the product into the United States, and then to sell it to somewhere in the United States. See how that works? It's like it's one person, and maybe they ship it, but it's a store, and it's Smith's in London clothing store, and they open a branch in New York, and it's called Smith's in London Clothing Store New York, and then Smith's in Clothing London ships a bunch of clothes to the New York store and then sells them in New York. Well, guess who pays that? The London company. That's the other way tariffs work.
You guys would have loved it. We had so much money, they didn't know what to do with it. We gave it away to different causes, and You haven't seen that too much anymore, although we give plenty away.
Wow, guys. Yeah, that's unbelievable, dude. It's unbelievable, that case. I really, really hope that case comes out the right way, guys. This is a huge, huge case.
But I need you to focus on my question. This is a preliminary injunction. I appreciate that. When you seek a preliminary injunction, you actually have to have a factual record that is the basis for the court to make a determination in your favor that some conduct that you're complaining about needs to be enjoined. And what's confusing to me and hard, really hard in this situation is that we have a lot of sincerely held beliefs and concerns and children and principles, and I see all of those things, and so really want to be careful about making the pronouncement that relates to this. I don't understand how we can do it on this record because we can't know. We don't at this moment, based on the record you've provided, know that these books aren't just sitting on the shelves. And you've said that if that's the case, that's not going to be enough.
I disagree, Your Honor. The record is undisputed. And I, again, will refer you to the district court transcript at 63, where counsel
So you're
said
saying
that
the Fourth Circuit is wrong when it says, quote, we don't have any information about how any teacher or school employee has actually used any of the books.
The Court of Appeals did not dispute that some of the books have to be used, and we have all of
No,
the
I
teachers'
understand that.
instructions that the board's not
I
disputed.
understand that, but the Fourth Circuit made a ruling that we don't know, quote, what any child has been taught in conjunction with their use. So are you saying that you do have affidavits and information about teachers in the classroom and what they've taught children of different ages about these books?
Yes, we do. All of our clients have, in their declarations, they describe which books are going to be read to their children.
Were the
why
clients
they
in the
asked it.
classroom?
They were not in the classroom, but they know. And again, we don't have to wait until the injury has happened to get relief. The point of a preliminary injunction is that we can, when the injury is imminent, we can seek relief.
All right,
to
let me
stop it
ask
from
you
happening
another.
before our children's
Let me
innocence
ask
is
you.
destroyed.
Let me ask you another series of questions because I'm just trying to understand the implications of the.
Wow. She literally was trying to claim the books might just be sitting on the shelves when it's like, no, these disgusting, filthy porn books are being forced on little kids, you pervert. I can't believe this woman's on the Supreme Court. I gotta calm down here.
But now we shouldn't be giving it away. We have to take care of ourselves first, right? Absolutely. But we were very wealthy, and proportionately the wealthiest we ever were. We built the Panama Canal. Jimmy Carter gave that away for $1, by the way. One of the most profitable things ever built, the Panama Canal. We gave it away for $1 to Panama. Why? I don't know. Nobody knows, but that's what we had. We had people like that sitting behind this desk, and that shouldn't have happened. Panama Canal. It was the most expensive thing ever built by our country in history. I'm talking relative dollars. We've never built anything so expensive. I think it was the equivalent of $1.7 billion. And we've never built anything like that. We built a lot of things, but never so expensive. Then we started building other things. We had a lot of money to do it, all based on foreign countries coming in and paying us tariffs. And we're doing that again, and I think we're going to make so much that we're going to be able to reduce taxes in this country by a lot. And we're also going to treat those countries very fairly. But if we don't make a deal, which is possible, we're going to just set the price. Because you remember, they have to come in, they want to come in here, and they want to do business with the United States. So we want to set a fair price, and we'll do that. We're going to be very fair, but we'll set a fair price. And then they can make a determination as to whether or not they want to do business with the United States. And I think most of them will. And I think we're going to treat them very fairly.
Were you worried about what the 145% tariffs were doing to small businesses here in the U.S.? Is that why you're bringing it down?
No. I haven't brought it down. I haven't brought it still 145. I haven't brought it down. I said it's a high tariff. It is a high tariff, but I haven't brought it down. It basically means China's not doing any business with us, essentially, because it's a very high number. So when you add that to the price of a product, a lot of those products aren't going to sell. But China's not doing any business. They were doing 1.1 trillion. Think of that. $1.1 trillion. You know what that is? And it was just very unfair to us. And we were doing very little, relatively very little with them. It was a one-sided, very one-sided. But we get along. I get along very well with President Xi, and I hope we can make a deal. Otherwise, we'll set a price, and hopefully they'll come.
Correct, correct. I mean, this tariff thing has really come down to a isolate China strategy, which is very clearly a broader foreign policy objective of the Trump administration in the USA right now, and people are failing to grasp that. There's bigger issues going on here in our foreign policy. It's not just tariff. We all have tariffs. It's like, no, this is about China, you morons.
Come here and they'll contribute, and if they don't, that's okay.
So on your trip to Rome, there's a lot of leaders attending the Pope's funeral who also said they'd like to meet with you while you're there. Do you have any meetings set up? Or you
Yes, I do. I have a lot of meetings set up. I don't know if I can do it. Do you want to help me out, fellas? I got a lot of meetings. I got every leader in the world, which tells you that we have a good product. It's called the United States of America, and it's great. And these people know about it better than anybody in this room. But we have a great place, and it should be a lot greater. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to make it greater than ever before. It's very simple.
Who are you going to be meeting with, President Zelensky?
Well, I have a lot of meetings set up, yeah.
And are you bringing anyone with you in the U.S. delegation to the funeral, like Secretary Rubio or a former president?
We have a couple of people coming. We'll announce it probably this evening or tomorrow. The First Lady's going, and some people are coming with me from staff. But we'll have a number of people going. I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful ceremony. Okay?
So I had one on Ukraine, but I wanted to ask you one about veterans since they are here today, and thank you for your service and sacrifice. I wanted to ask you about the cuts that have been made, including with the VA. Can you assure that veterans like these men here, those that have been suffering from mental health issues or burn pits, for example, will be taken care of?
Yeah, very much so. In fact, they will tell you it's been better with me than any president in history. We had a 92% approval rating, which is unheard of, up 50 points from the previous administration in my first 4 years. And we're doing better now. And in fact, now they have something to call in.
Hydra, what's up, Hydra? So election friend will be an interesting couple days here as India had a terrorist attack. So they told anyone who is Pakistani to get out of India in 48 hours. Both nations are nuclear nations. As we both know, they both aren't exactly cordial with each other. Wow, 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 wow. More Kashmir attacks. Yeah, Hydra. American Patriot was talking about the same thing earlier, and it's like, dude, they've been at war over Kashmir for freaking ever. There's been like terrorist attacks in Kashmir for freaking ever, so it's like hard to tell like when something like this is more serious or not, you know? It very well could be. But at the same time, they've been fighting over this thing for freaking ever. So like, is this the time where it goes hotter, 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 like American Patriot is saying is going to happen or not? I have no clue. I'm glad he's going to the funeral, but a lot of the liberals don't want him there. Well, they're assholes then. Jeez. When I get scam calls, I always get them to talk about India or Pakistan. That's hilarious. Future's still in the green, boys. Future's still in the green. Oh, wow. Future's really in the green now. Wait, do futures close at 10 p.m. Eastern? Or no, they don't. Are futures tradable? Can you trade futures all night long? Trending tickers after hours trading. PLTR is like basically was flat or up after hours. Now it's down 2 cents after hours. Basically flat though. Huh. Man, my little shorts are not doing anything that I put up earlier.
The call-in doctor stuff where it's really become, modernized and great, where you don't have to go and travel.
He said he was Pakistani. He said Indian said some of the most racist stuff. Wow. Lecture, can you drop investing advice? Yeah, I can, Noah. Save as much as you can and invest it in the stock market. That's my advice.
Sometimes long distances to get to a clinic or get to the VA. And I just heard this morning, I was listening.
Since when do you have to be a licensed financial advisor to give advice? Hydra. Since when do you have to be licensed to give financial advice? Like that. Now, if you're like actually selling, like if you're selling insurance products or like selling investments and crap like that, yeah, you've got to be licensed. But like, as an individual, you don't. Yeah, if I'm not like selling him anything, if I'm just like, hey, yeah, I think you should invest in this, I don't think you need to be licensed for that. That would be like a free speech violation, big time, I would think.
Listening to Doug Collins, who's the secretary. He was being interviewed, and the numbers are incredible. The approval ratings are the highest I've never heard numbers like this. It's better than the first 4 years. So no, there's no group of people more important than the people in this room. And I'm not talking about the media. I'm talking about these people right here. There's no group, and they're going to be taken really well care of. That's very important to me.
And on the war in Ukraine, are you going to be meeting with President Zelensky? He's asked to meet with you this weekend. Will you be meeting with him?
I don't know. I don't know that he's going to the funeral or not, but I just hope he gets this thing solved, because we're losing about, think of this, 5,000. I was saying 2,500, and everyone was telling me that's low. 5,000 soldiers are being killed every week, approximately. Think of that. Every week, 5,000 soldiers. But let's say from 3,000 to 5,000 are being killed. They're Russian and Ukrainian. They're not Americans, but they're Russian, but they're people. And they're humans. They're human beings. They have families. They wave goodbye to their son, and then they get a call that the son's no longer there. It's a vicious war. And if I can help solve it, we're not losing our soldiers, but we're losing soldiers, a lot of people. And if I can solve it because of a certain ability, that would be great. And if it doesn't happen, I will say that I think Russia is ready, and a lot of people said Russia wanted to go for the whole thing. And I think we have a deal with Russia. We have to get a deal with Zelensky, and I hope that Zelensky, I thought it might be easier to deal with Zelensky. So far it's been harder, but that's okay. It's all right. But I think we have a deal with both. I hope they do it, because I'm looking to save. And, we spend a lot of money, but this is about a lot of humanity. This is the worst. I get the pictures, the satellite pictures. I've never seen anything like it, of the field.
Is that right? So the futures market is only closed for between 5 and 6 Eastern. Okay, I had no idea.
After some of these battles, it's horrible that it's going for nothing. We would have never had this problem. You would have never had that war if I were president. I guarantee you that. And for 4 years, you didn't have it.
Are you hoping to meet with Vladimir Putin? Are you hoping to meet with Vladimir Putin in Saudi Arabia?
It's possible, but most likely not. I think we'll meet with him shortly thereafter.
What is Mr. Witkoff going to present to the
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome
Pro.
During the Biden administration in the campaign, with inflation raging, he lowered interest rates 2 times.
That's right.
Now, with 2 consecutive months of inflation being down, all economic theory you learned in the 8th grade says it's time to cut rates when inflation is down.
You're right.
He's not done that. Have you had any direct conversation with him?
No, I haven't. I haven't called him. I might call him. I haven't called him, but I believe he's making a mistake by not lowering interest rates. And I think as well as we're doing, we'd do much better. He's keeping rates too high. He historically has been late, except when it came to Biden. He was recommended by a certain person that I'm not particularly happy with. But he will hopefully do the right thing. The right thing is to lower interest rates. So we'll see what happens. I think we're sitting on.
There you go. There you go, Hydra. Yeah, just do that, Hydra. Do that, Hydra. Or just follow Nancy Pelosi's investments also. That's also fantastic financial advice. Just do whatever Nancy Pelosi's doing.
Something that's going to be very good with all the tariff money starting to come in. Our country's going to be doing really well, and hopefully he'll be. We don't have inflation. Groceries are down. When I first came in, you people were there. They hit me with the first day that I was president. Somebody started screaming at me that eggs are up. I said, I just got here.
Yo, Grumple in the house with the pinned message too. Love it. Thank you so much, Grumple. You're the man. In the house with the. Oh, nice. That actually links directly to my live stream on YouTube. Nice. Thank you, Grumple. You the man. Do we got any YouTube chatters? Nope, no YouTube chatters. Yeah, we do have a YouTube view, though. We got a YouTube view going. Let's go.
And in the first week, they were going crazy. You remember that, Linda? Yes. They were going crazy. They're saying, egg prices are too. I said, I'm here for 1 week. Just leave me alone. This is the fake news media. And I said, what can I tell you? But Brooke Rollins, our Secretary of Agriculture, and a group working with her,
first
have done
YouTube
an amazing
chatter.
job. And egg prices have gone down 87%. Energy now is down $65 a barrel. They have some energy selling gasoline for less than $2 in a couple of states. Alabama, a couple of great states, but all over the country, it's way down from what it was 6 months ago, 3 months ago. And that has a lot to do with the war. When Biden allowed energy to skyrocket, it just skyrocketed. It was out of control. Russia made a lot more money because they make their money on energy. And I kept saying, he supposedly wants to end the war, but he lets energy go out of control. Well, I've gotten it. We are drilling like crazy right now, and we have it down to $65 a barrel. It went up to almost $100 a barrel. And at that number...
Yeah, it literally was negative, Nom. That's crazy in terms of the month over month. Yeah. That's how it came in under expectations even. How is that not talked about anywhere in the media? We literally have negative inflation way under expectations, and it's not even mentioned by the media at all, ever.
Putin and Russia made a lot of money. So I think one of the reasons, I think he has a certain respect for me, but one of the big reasons is
nice,
oil prices
Grumple,
are down.
nice.
I think this is a good time to get the war settled. Thank you. Thank you for that question.
Right, Prola, right.
Here in the district. You said when you came in, you were going to make Washington, D.C. great again.
Right.
One of the issues we've got right now.
That's right, Grumple,
yeah.
yep.
An intimate deal between the owner of the Washington football team, whatever you want to call them now, Commanders, and locally in getting the Redskins back to D.C. and RFK Stadium. That's on federal property.
Right.
Are you going to be involved in that negotiation?
Yeah.
And would one of the stipulations be they change their name back to the Redskins?
Oh, I say, well, that's a little bit, nobody's asked me that one. Look, I think when the Indian population is a great part of this country, a great heritage, and we were talking about Massapequa, Long Island, the Chiefs, they call themselves the Chiefs, or the Kansas City Chiefs. They're not changing their name. A great team, great people, great owners, great coach and quarterback. I love the quarterback, like his girlfriend too, and his wife. His wife is great. She's been a big fan. His quarterback's mother is incredible. I like that team. They're called the Chiefs, and frankly, I see nothing wrong with it. They call them the Warriors, and not that team, but a lot of other teams, and all of these Indian surnames and different names. And I'm saying that I think that's a positive thing. And when you go back to Indians, they polled this. They don't know why these names are being taken off. They're trying to. I think it's degrading to the Indian population, and it's a great population, and they like when they're called by various names. Now, Washington. The Redskins, perhaps that's a little bit different, but I can tell you that I spoke to people of Indian heritage that love that name and they love that team, and I think it's I think it's a superior name to what they have right now, and it had heritage behind it. It had something special. But a lot of the names having to do with, different places, not just Indians, but I think it's, they changed the name of the Cleveland Indians. Why would you take the name Indians off the Cleveland Indians? And now it's called the Cleveland something else, right? Guardians. It just doesn't make sense to me. So
Guardians?
We're about bringing common sense.
What a terrible flippin' name. Are you kidding me? The Cleveland Guardians? I didn't even know that. That's awful.
Back to this country. And it may be popular or unpopular what I'm saying and I've just said to you. He's a nice guy.
I didn't either,
But
Prolog.
I think most people agree with me. It's
Eagles.
I think it really
I
is
hate the
meaning
Eagles,
to
Hydra. I
Indians.
like Cowboys.
But to change the name of the Cleveland Indians as an example to the Cleveland Guardians is not the same, and I'm sure it has an impact on the team. Please.
Sir, thank you, sir. Elon Musk said he'll be stepping back from his work with Doge a little bit and only dedicating maybe a day or two a week to it. How long would you like to see that continue, and how involved would you like to see him continue to be after?
Well, first of all, I can't speak more highly about any individual. He's an incredible guy. He's a brilliant guy. He's a wonderful person. I've seen him with his family. I've seen him with a lot of his children.
I know, Hydra. I know you're going to say that.
He treats them good. He loves his children. But he's a brilliant guy, and he was a tremendous help, both in the campaign.
I liked
and in
Emmitt
what he's
Smith,
done with,
Hydra.
Doge.
Emmitt Smith
And,
was my favorite player.
We're talking about.
I was 22 and a
almost
running back
$200
myself.
million and rising fast, because many of the things that we were looking at are now being found out to be fact. It's terrible. I mean.
In fact, let me just show you guys. Let me just show you guys something. I actually always had like a fantastic offensive line, great quarterback, great wide receivers. So like, I don't know how good he ever really was. I always just kind of like watching him because it was kind of like, wow, like this guy's not that great, but he has all these like breakout these highlights. I mean, he's obviously a good running back and stuff, but like a lot of these highlights are just like gaping holes. It's literally what the guy just said. Gaping hole in the left side. Smith for a touchdown. Good frickin' stuff, man. Good frickin' stuff.
The fraud, the waste, the abuse, the everything that's happened is just terrible. So I also know that he was treated very unfairly by I guess you'd call it the public, by some of the public, not by all of it. I say he makes an incredible car, makes everything he does is good, but they took it out on Tesla. And I just thought it was so unfair because he's trying to help the country. But he has helped the country. I also want him to make sure that he's going to be in great shape. And I know he is. I mean, he's going to do great. He loves the country. He didn't need to do this. He did it. And I told him, I said, whenever you're ready, I'd like to keep him for a long time, but whenever you're ready, he's an exceptional guy. When you see those rockets go up and come back and land in the same gantry, nobody else can do that but this man. So he's just an incredible person, and he's a friend of mine, and he's a nice person, too. He's a very nice person. He really helped the country, saved us a lot of money.
It's all good, lecture fan. Last time Dallas was in a Super Bowl, I was 4. Fair enough, fair enough.
And I heard him say that he'll start easing, he was always at this time going to ease out. And when he goes back to Tesla, that'll be taken care of. It's artificial. These were sick people that thought they were doing something. He's a great patriot, and it shouldn't be the way, that should never have happened to him. And I will tell you right now, he makes a great product. He makes a great product. It's a great car. It's great everything. Starlink is great. What he does is good. He's doing medical things that are amazing. And we have to, at some point, let him go and do that. And we expect him to be doing it about this time. But I'll talk to Elon about it. Thank you for the question.
A second question. Canada has an election coming up. Do you have a prediction for that, and what do you think the results of
With respect to Canada?
With the negotiations?
Oh, I don't want to predict other nations' elections. It's tough enough doing this one. Look, I love the Canadian people. I like Canada. But it's costing us $200 billion a year to support Canada. $200 billion. And I say, why are we doing that? You know what? We can make our own cars. We have more energy than they do. We have more energy than anybody in the world. We don't need their lumber, obviously. We have more lumber. We have a lot of lumber. We have a lot of everything that they sell us. But in particular, cars, they took a large percentage of the car making, and I want to bring it back to this country. I really don't want cars from Canada. So when I put tariffs on Canada, they're paying 25%, but that could go up in terms of cars. When we put tariffs on, all we're doing is we're saying we don't want your cars in all due respect. We want really to make our own cars, which is what we're doing in record numbers now. You know, we're going to be at record levels in a very near future because of all the plants, the car plants that are being built. And I'd rather see them made in Michigan and made in South Carolina and made in different states, Tennessee. We have a lot of great car-making states, and we have some that aren't car-making yet, but they will soon be car-making states. And that's what I want to see for our country. At the same time, I want to help Canada. I have spoken to the current Prime Minister. He was very, very nice, I will say. Very nice. We had a couple of very nice conversations, very good. But I don't think it's appropriate for me to get involved in their election.
Mr. President, if I may, this deal that you have with Russia, does it include recognizing Russia's sovereignty over Crimea?
Well, everything is good. Look, I just want to see the war end. I don't care. If they're both happy, they both sign an agreement. I have no favorites. I don't want to have any favorites. I want to
He literally does not care. That's awesome.
Have a deal done. I want to save the lives. Now, with that being said, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars through Biden. Biden should have never let that war happen. We're spending hundreds of billions, maybe $350 billion we've given to Ukraine. And we could use that money right here. So I'd like to see that. But most importantly right now is when I see the pictures, the satellite pictures of the battlefield, if I can stop that because of an ability I have to do things, I want to see if I can do that. Yeah.
Mr. President, thank you. On tariffs, you just mentioned that 25% could go up on cars in terms of Canada. Does that mean that you're considering changes to the auto tariffs and auto parts?
No, we're not considering it now, but at some point it could go up, yeah, because, again, we don't really want Canada to make cars for us, to put it bluntly. We want to make our own cars, and we're now equipped to do that. They took a lot of our car business. Mexico, too, took a lot of our car business. We want to make the cars here. I'm running this country. I'm not running Canada. And that's why I asked Trudeau, who I call Governor Trudeau affectionately, but I asked him, why are we spending $200 billion to support Canada, to subsidize Canada? And he was unable to answer the question. I mean, why are we doing that? And I have to be honest, as a state, it works great. As a nation, considering the fact that most of the nation, 95% of Canada, what they do is they buy from us and they sell to us. They sell to us. If we didn't buy their oil, and we don't need their oil. We have more oil than anyone, but we don't need their oil. We don't need their lumber. We don't need their cars. We don't need anything. So I said, why are we doing this? Why are we spending $200 billion? It doesn't make sense. If we needed something, that would be a different subject. So I'm working well with Canada. We're doing very well. We're working on a deal. We'll see what happens. But again, why, representing this country, why are we spending $200 billion to support and subsidize another country? Because if they didn't have us, and if we didn't spend that money, as Trudeau told me, they would cease to exist. He said that to me. They would cease to exist, which is true, certainly as a country.
And then on tourism, there's been a steep drop-off in international travel to the United States. It was down 12% last month, down even more from Western Europe. Why do you think that there are fewer people suddenly who want to travel to the United States?
Well, there could be a little, there's a little nationalism there, I guess, perhaps. It's not a big deal, but, with the dollar being where it is, because,
Good,
China
Hydra.
would always fight for having a low dollar. Japan would always fight for having a low dollar, meaning a low yen, or in the case of China, the yuan. They'd always want to have, I'd speak to President Xi a lot. I'd say it's unfair that you your yuan is so low. I'd call up a great man, Prime Minister Abe, great man, Shinzo, who was unfortunately assassinated. And I used to tell you, he was a good friend of mine. I used to say, Shinzo, you can't let your yen go down. It makes it very hard for us to sell tractors. It makes it very hard to us to get tourism. And our dollar is a little bit on the low side. And that means that a lot of tourism is going to come in. But I could see a little bit of nationalism at work. And I could see it likewise with us, not wanting to go to certain countries. But that will work out very
Do
easily.
you think some people are scared to come here because they hear the stories of tourists who are detained for a few days
No.
or even a week or two?
No, we treat our tourists great. We're the tourism capital of the world. There's no place like this. And there may be a little bit of nationalism, but I doubt it. I actually doubt it, yeah.
Mr. President, has there been any direct contact between the U.S. and China for trade at all?
Yeah, of course.
And
Every day.
every day. And then secondly, would you support a millionaire tax?
I think it would be very disruptive because a lot of the millionaires would leave the country. You know, in the old days, they left states. They go from one state to the other. Now with transportation so quick and so easy, they leave countries. You'll lose a lot of money if you do that. That would, and other countries that have done it have lost a lot of people. They lose their wealthy people. That would be bad because the wealthy people pay the tax. Okay?
Sir, how did the talks today go in London?
Pretty basic, lady.
Do you think that the asks from Ukraine and
I think they went well. I mean, you know, we got to get two strong people, two smart people to agree. And as soon as they agree, the killing will stop. But yeah, I think they went well, pretty well.
Mr. President, we understand that your economic team, many of them are here today, J.D. Vance, has negotiated what's been called a monster trade deal with India, like biggest one ever. Can you share with us what some of the framework of that might be?
You said England.
India.
India?
India.
Oh.
Muslim.
They're not very complicated, these deals. It's about the tariffs. India charges almost more than any other country in the world. And believe it or not, we do very little business with India, other than the fact that I like the Prime Minister very much. He's a friend of mine. He was here 2 weeks ago, as you know. And we stood right outside at a news conference. Unfortunately, the grass was very wet. And it was very hard for people to stand on the grass. They got their shoes all ruined. But other than that, it was a very good news conference. And he's a great guy. But we do very little business. You know why? Because their tariffs are so high. They have among the highest tariffs, higher than China. They have among the highest tariffs in the world. And I understand they're going to reduce those tariffs. But it's really sort of their problem, not ours. We do very, very little purchasing in India because and selling. We do very little selling. I mean, Harley Davidson, I said, how are you doing in India? This is about 6 years ago. They came to lunch as a great American company. They make the motorcycles. And I said, how are you doing in India, as an example? Well, we don't do any business there. Why? Because the tariffs are too high. I said, that's interesting. Well, what are you going to do? He said, well, we're going to build a plant in India. And that's what they did. I don't want that to happen. They were forced to build a plant. Well, essentially what we're doing is the same thing. Remember, there's no tariff when they build their plant here. And everybody wants to build because they don't want. And the higher the tariffs go, the more likely it is they come in and build a plant. You know, I mean, if it's 25%, that's fine. If it's 50%, you'll get more plants. 75, you get more. At 100, you get more than that. And they're all coming in at numbers that nobody's. I don't think, Howard, there's ever been numbers like we've seen.
Never.
$7-8 trillion worth in 2 months. Because it took me a month to get started, in all fairness. But in 2 months, we did this, and now we're coming up on 100 days, first 100 days, and I think we're going to be close to $8 trillion. There was never any president that did even a tiny percentage of that. Okay.
Go all in, Hydra. Go all in, Hydra. Hydra, how do you have no polls, man? What the heck?
Had a deal signed, one of the deals signed by your 100-day mark, and China is saying that.
Oh, you have. Oh, I thought it said 40. I didn't. Hold on, Hydra. Sorry, Hydra. I thought you had 400 and. I thought you had. I'm sorry. I thought you had 43,000. I didn't realize you had 438,000.
And blackmailing them into a deal. What would be your response?
Well, I mean, China, look, I have great relationships in China, with President Xi in particular, but China has been charging us massive tariffs for many years. That's one of the reasons they were able to steal so many of our companies. They took our companies out of America, and they built their plants in China. And one of those things, so now we're reversing it, but at levels that nobody's ever seen.
Pepsi with News Nation. Can you give us an update on the crackdown in New York City of Trenday Rockwell members?
That's a classic example how collaboration between ICE and state and local law enforcement, the success of the collaboration. 27 Trendagua people were indicted. I believe 6 are still outstanding. We're looking for them. But we send a strong message to Trendagua. We're going to keep doing this to every TDA member, MS-13 members removed from the country. That was the first time we used RICO. The underlying offenses were sex trafficking, gun trafficking, drug trafficking, murder for hire. We seized a lot of weapons, and we rescued some victims of sex trafficking. What's specifically important to me about New York is Mayor Adams, who's getting beat up by the left for cooperating with us. Look what transpired. Look at the lives we saved in New York City, right? At the same time, you got the city council filing a lawsuit to shut down our memorandum of understanding, the executive order he signed to get us in Rikers Island. We proved yesterday what collaboration can do for the safety and security of New York. But now the city council wants to lock us out of Rikers Island where TDA and MS-13 are housed so we can get custody of them before they hit the streets of New York. It's just ridiculous. And of course, no city council members at the press conference yesterday, they don't want to hear the truth. This is about open borders, this is about sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities are for criminals. And I salute Mayor Adams for, writing that executive order to get us into Rikers Island. I think we'll win that case. I hope the judge who's going to hear that case saw the press conference yesterday and see the results of collaboration. Cops should be working with the cop. I never asked New York City NYPD to be an immigration officer. Ask them to help us be cops working with cops to remove public safety threats and national security threats and terrorists from the streets of New York and from Rikers Island when they're done with their sentences. That's exactly what we proved yesterday.
Mr. Holman, are you tracking any Garcia case? What is your response to the judge accusing the administration of bad faith and willful noncompliance?
Bad faith. We removed an MS-13 gang member, public safety threat, wife beater, designated terrorist from the United States. He's home. He's a citizen of El Salvador, a native El Salvador, who had due process, despite what you're hearing, been ordered removed by 2 separate immigration judges. The best that could happen for him, if he actually gave back to the United States, he would be detained and removed again, because he has an order of deportation. And what people don't talk about, the withholding order they keep saying was the mistake or oversight, was issued years ago under different circumstances. The gang he was afraid would attack him no longer exists. The country of El Salvador is a much safer country because of the actions of President Bukele. I don't think any court can order another nation, a sovereign nation, to take a citizen national from their country in their custody and give them back to the U.S. Again, I'm not an attorney. I'll let DOJ argue this in court. But I think we removed a public safety threat, gang member, designated terrorists from the United States who have been ordered.
Yo, check this out. Okay, check this out, you guys. Okay, remember how the other day I was saying, yeah, the due process for an illegal alien is literally a 5-minute interview with an immigration official? Yo, one of my lawyer friends actually looked it up, and there's actually in U.S. code, there's literally an immigration official literally interviews you. And I was like, I didn't even know that that's actually U.S. law, that you get an interview with an immigration officer, and then you get to, like, wow.
Deported twice by a federal judge. I think I got plenty of due process.
Like, I'm literally right. Like, the process you get is literally a 5-minute interview with an immigration officer. And if the immigration officer determines you're an illegal alien, or you admit to being an illegal alien, or et cetera, like, you're out. No, according to Democrats, due process is just feelings.
You got more due process than Lakeland Riley got.
Yeah. Okay, let's ask ChatGPT. Let's ask ChatGPT. How many instances in U.S. code does it mention interviews with immigration officials? The U.S. Code and associated federal regulations contain multiple provisions requiring or authorizing interviews with immigration officials across various immigration processes. Inspection and asylum interviews, visa application interviews, naturalization process interviews, adjustment of status interviews. So it's mostly this inspection one that comes into play. Immigration officers are required to inspect arriving aliens. And then they get an interview. ChatGPT is trash, apparently.
The administration,
Are you okay? Who, me, Prola? Oh, yeah. Oh, you can see my thing. Yeah, no. Immigration interview references, CPUSA, Missouri River flow speed, feeling cold, causes, quitclaim deed limits, baking broccoli at 350, healthy pork sausage recipes, thyroid issue symptoms. I don't know, actually. I didn't realize that you could see all that, Prola. Actually, yeah, so I think I might have a thyroid problem. I don't know yet, but I'd like to get tested. So what I'm experiencing, though, is like regularly feeling cold. Broccoli came out okay. Yeah, no, I didn't eat any of it, though. It ended up like, I ended up having like plenty of chicken that night. Chicken and like pasta. And I like stuffed myself on chicken and pasta. Didn't end up eating the broccoli. But yeah, it did come out good. Anyway, moving on. Oh, man. But no, I was feeling cold. I was feeling cold even when it's like 75 degrees. In here, out there, in my room, at my office, like I'm regularly like feeling cold. I'm really only comfortable when it's like 76, 77, 78. I mean, it's really weird. And so I asked ChatGPT, like, is this, like, why might I be feeling cold, like, kind of all the time? And it said the number one cause of that is a thyroid issue. And so then I started asking, like, what are other issues with thyroid? And one of them was, like, dry skin. And it's like, I've got dry skin. That was the only other one that I had, though. And so then I looked at it, and there was like, it gave me like a self-assessment thing on thyroids. You're just getting old. Like, are you serious, Hydra? Are you serious? Because here's the other thing, Hydra. Like, it gave me like a self-assessment thing on thyroid issues, and it listed like 10 symptoms, and I only had 2. And it said, like, if you have, like, 3 or 4 of these or more, then you probably ought to get, like, this. It's definitely, like, thyroid. But I only had 2 of them. So I was like, but there's, like, enough there where I knew a guy at a nursing home I worked at who would wear sweaters in 110 degrees. Dude, that guy sounds like that dude had a thyroid problem. I don't know. I mean, maybe it is, Hydra. Let's ask ChatGPT. Is feeling cold even at warm temperatures potentially just a sign of getting old? Feeling cold even when it's warm can be a part of aging, but it's not always just about getting old. As we age, a few things change that might explain it. Slower metabolism, thinner skin and less fat, circulation issues, lower muscle mass. But there are other possible causes that aren't age-related. Thyroid issues. Number one thing, again, there it is, thyroid issues. Anemia, poor nutrition, or low red blood cells. I don't think I have anemia. I have no idea. Poor nutrition or weight loss. I don't have either of those. I really don't. It's like, yeah, I eat junk food a lot, but I actually, like, especially with my wife's cooking and stuff, I actually have really good nutrition. Certain medications, I'm not on any medications. Hormonal imbalances, doubt it. Chronic illnesses like diabetes or kidney disease, nope. So again, that kind of leaves me with like thyroid issues.
The Supreme Court rather says the administration must facilitate his return.
Okay.
I've heard diabetes causes that cold thing too. Compression socks are great. Wait, why would I need compression socks? I wonder how close I am to diabetes. I don't think I have diabetes. Wait, Tylenol, why did you say it with a kappa? What is A1C blood levels? Will that tell me if I have diabetes or not? I've had blood work done regularly, I've had blood work done regularly my whole life. But it has been several years. Like the last time I probably got A1C check is probably a couple of years. Or
Will the administration facilitate his return?
I'll leave that with the Department of Justice and the State Department. I think I stand by. We did the right thing for the safety and security of this country. We removed the terrorists. Just like the 2 plane loads that all of a sudden everybody's saying we violated court order.
Okay, you're thinking potentially circulation issues. Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, I have got my blood levels checked over the years. I've had it. It's every probably 2, 3, 4 years that I get it done, but because I'm not good about going to the doctor. But I need to go and get that kind of stuff done.
These are 2 plane loads of terrorists that were international waters. Again, I'm not litigating the case. I'm not an attorney. I'll let DOJ handle it. But again, I think we're keeping President Trump's promise to American people who voted him into office on #1 issue, secure the border, and remove public safety threats and national security threats. So that's what we keep doing. I find it incredible that there's all this push for more due process, more process for these designated terrorists, when in fact no one asked for due process when they crossed the border. No one asked for vetting when they crossed the border. Where was all the media? Where were a lot of you all folks when 10.5 million people came to the border and you're silent? Where were a lot of these folks when they had a 600% increase in sex trafficking of women and children? Where was everybody when we had 250,000 Americans dying from fentanyl that come to that open border? Where was all the anger then? Where was all the press then? But now they enter the country legally against legal process, and now they demand legal process. It's just ridiculous how this has come full circle. And I think President Trump's doing the right thing. This country's much safer today. I looked at the numbers today. We're about 68,000 illegal aliens arrested in the interior United States, a hell of a lot more than Biden administration ever thought of doing. And a vast majority being criminal alien threats. This country's a lot safer. New York City's a lot safer today because of the operations we did up there. Arresting public safety threats and national security threats. Every time we arrest one of these people, remove them, the country gets that much safer. President Trump secured the border in a matter of 7 weeks. Today, as I'm talking to you, we had the most secure border in the history of this nation. Data proves it. He did in 7 weeks what the Biden administration couldn't or wouldn't do in 4 years. This president is keeping his promise to American people. I'm happy. I walk in here every day working for the greatest president of my lifetime because I spent over 40 years doing immigration enforcement and border security. We've never been where we're at right now. The most secure border in the history of this nation right now. Lives are being saved every day. Migrant lives under Joe Biden. Over 4,000 illegal aliens died making this journey to the United States. How is that humane? That's an historic record. And again, 250,000 Americans died from fentanyl. How is that humane? They want to say
I agree, Altair. I agree. I'm very disappointed with that, these numbers as well.
Our administration is inhumane. We're not giving due process. We're saving lives by the thousands every day. The wall, everybody's screaming and yelling about the wall going up. Every place we built a border barrier, illegal immigration went down. Illegal drug flow went down. But you know what no one talks about? The wall saves lives. Women and children can't get over that wall. So that means they're going to a place where there's not a wall. And what's waiting on them? The men and women, the border patrol, who's going to deal with those health issues in a humanitarian crisis. Walls save lives. Just secure borders saves lives. President Trump's saving thousands of lives every day by securing that border. And we're going to continue, despite what the district court says. Maybe we got to hold off on some of the deportation operations we're doing, but that's not going to stop us from seeking these people out, arresting them, and taking them off the streets of the United States while we wait for the courts to decide, about the Alien Enemies Act, these other things. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to arrest these public safety threats every single day, 24/7 across this country. That will not stop.
Sir, tell us how many people.
Boom, boom. Get it done, son. Get it done. Get it going, 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 full steam. I'm out of here, boys. I'm out of here.